Hey y'all, and welcome back to my garden. Well, in true North Carolina coastal fashion, it is extra windy today, but we are going to be getting in our March garden tour because I am so excited. Y'all, 1 year ago today, we had our first March garden tour here on YouTube. So we have learned so much together. I know I have learned so much, and thank you guys so much for following along on this journey. We have had so many beautiful flowers and plants. We've killed some plants. And so, as you've been following along on this journey, thank you for doing that. So, let's turn the camera around and take a look at our March garden. It is so beautiful, and we have a lot of exciting things in store for this year. All right, guys, let's go. Okay, so last year we started right here on the front of our house, and it's had a lot of change over the last year. So last year we had a row of the blushing broad hydrangeas, and now we've replaced those with a quick fire fab. They are just kind of getting little buds on them, so you can't really see very much right now. And then we also added in these beautiful boxwoods here on the front, and they are just starting to get new little green on them, and they're looking extra beautiful. Our lemon coral sedum is actually looking very good, along with some of our daylilies. And then we've got some little pansies, and our muscari is just coming out of bloom. And then our daffodils in this area are coming out of bloom. But going along the front, in front of the garage, you can see we have our beautiful daffodils that we planted last year in the fall. We planted 140 daffodil bulbs, and they have been such a beautiful display all spring. They have been so gorgeous. And this mix is just absolutely gorgeous. Different clusters of beautiful flowers, some yellow, some doubles. I've just been in love with them. And last year we removed our incredible hydrangeas and we replaced them with a hedge of limelight hydrangeas. And they did beautiful last year. They loved the sun and the heat in the south side of our house. And then we also paired them with some pink muley grass. And it's absolutely beautiful. The movement of the grass and then the big blooms of the limelight hydrangeas is such a beautiful combination, and I cannot wait to see it this year. Our hibiscus were beautiful as well. We have the Starry Night hibiscus, and we've got those all clipped back here. But the pink blossoms, along with the big white blossoms of the limelight hydrangeas, is absolutely gorgeous. So this flower bed is really coming into its own, and we have some annuals that we're going to be planting here in the front. So make sure to stay tuned because you're going to want to see what annuals we have planned for this year. I'm super excited about it. One of the first things we did when we moved into our house was we planted our boxwoods. So we have these English boxwoods over here on the side, and they have grown so much. They've done so beautiful. They still have a little bit of bronzing from the winter, but they are starting to green up and looking so gorgeous. In front of that, we have a little bit of catmint, and this is a pink catmint. So I'm really excited to see it bloom this year. I think it's going to be really, really pretty right here on the front. So we've still got our little arborvitaes here in our pots, and they've grown so much since last year. I think this is the year that we're going to be putting them in the ground. So we've got to figure out a good place to put them, but I am excited to get those put in the ground. I think they will be very happy. And then over here on the right side, we kind of have the same little combination here with our quick fire fabs in the back. And then we have our boxwoods in the front. We have our daffodils, and our muscari did really, really beautiful this year. And the pollinators just loved it so, so much. And then as we go over here, we have our serendipity allium that is coming back up. And then our little lavender miniature roses. They are so beautiful. So, they're little roses, but they pack a big punch because they just get covered in blossoms. So I cannot wait to see those bloom this year. And then another exciting thing. So last year we planted this Temple of Bloom Seven Suns flower. Look at this. It went back all the way to sticks this winter, and look how beautiful it's coming out. I can't wait to see what it looks like this year. I've got this little cage on it just to protect it because it was just little sticks and I didn't want us to accidentally step on it. And then we have more of our little alliums over here, and they are doing good. I cannot wait to see the color on these. Here is what they look like. They are so beautiful and they're deer resistant, which is extra good here on the front of our house. And then here is the rest of our English boxwoods over here. So they are doing really good. It just makes you happy to see plants that are thriving and doing well in an area. Super exciting. Okay, guys, so we've been kind of holding off on doing our mulch for this year because our pollen is falling really hard right now. And so once the pollen finishes falling, then we'll come in and put in our new mulch. But that's going to look really pretty to tidy up this bed. And it's going to look so great with our edge right metal edging. And everything just looks nice and clean and crisp in this area. And it'll look so fresh once we get our new mulch in. Okay, so the next place we're going to be looking at is over here. So last year in our video, I was talking about our woodland area, how we wanted to develop it more. So we did get to do a little bit in this area. We have a more defined curve. That was one thing that we were talking about. And we've added some plants in. So sometimes I feel like if you just add one or two little plants in, kind of gives you that inspiration to keep on going. So we added in our little false hollies through here, and they've been a nice little bright little pop of color. We also added in some daffodils. These were ones that I had kept on the porch and just kind of popped them into the ground, and they have done really, really good. And then we have some of the carex grass here on the front, more of that little pop because I think this area just kind of needs it. It's so kind of dark over here. And then we have our gardenias. So they are doing really well, doing very good as well. And then as we go over this way, we have our chrysanthemums that we got last year at Lowe's, and we have those popped in the ground. I can't wait to see all those bloom in the fall. We've got a little Beyond Midnight Bluebeard that's coming up there. And then we have a Just Chill double white camellia coming in over here. And then as we go along, you'll see we have chrysanthemums just dotted amongst the wood area. There's like over, I think there's like 18 of them. And so that is going to be really, really pretty when they have their pretty fall color. We'll just kind of have color all through here. We do need to work on some weeds right there, get those up. I've got some pots over there sitting that I need to clean up. But it is coming along, and we'll just continue working on this area this year and just making it look more lovely as we go along. So let's go over there to the side yard and see what we have done this year. One of the things we talked about last year in our garden tour was working on our grass. So our grass is looking better. We've been using a pre-emergent and fertilizer. So we still have some bare spots. It is just kind of coming out and greening up, but I think it's looking a lot better. So we can continue working on that this year and making it more green and more lush. Okay, so we're in the front here, and this is over here where we had to have the tree taken down last year. And this is one of the most exciting things. This is our El Nino Catalpa that we planted last year. Well, actually, we planted it this year. We got it last year. But it is starting to leaf out. Look how beautiful it is. This is the one I got from Creekside Nursery. I am so excited about this. Then we got a little drift of foxgloves that we grew from seed back here. And then we have a little spruce there, a little grass here, and some mugo pine. And then we planted a couple little autumn joy sedums. So this is really coming together. I'm going to add in some more annuals and some color. I limbed up this little native tree here. So I think this is looking really pretty. And can you imagine just with more color in here? It's going to look really good. And then going over here, this is what we added in January. So we have 3 of the little gem magnolias surrounded by 7 boxwoods. And then we're going to be adding in some annual color around these, which I'm really excited about. I think that's going to look really, really pretty. Still have a little work on our grass here that we need to do. But, you know, it's all coming together, all in time, little bits by little bits, so we don't get overwhelmed. And here is our mulch that's waiting for us. So that's going to be a fun job. But I think it's looking really good. We had the tree removed and the stump ground down. It's starting to get lower and lower. And let's just look back this way. Okay. Looking really good. Gives me lots more inspiration on what to do this year. Okay, so let's head on to the back. Look at that pile, and it's covered in pollen. Do you guys get pollen where you're at? I mean, we have lots of pollen. Look at that, lots and lots and lots of pollen. Okay, so let's head over to the pool area. So I'm going to start over here in our shade flower bed. And I know it always sounds so funny when I say shade flower bed when I'm here in the afternoon, but this is the only time this area gets any sun. So in the late afternoons, it does get a little bit of sun from the west coming in. But this is such a beautiful area. I cannot wait to see how it's going to fill in this year. We have our beautiful bleeding hearts there. Beside that, we have a lungwort, and we have lots of different kinds of heuchera in here. And then we have our hydrangea, and she's just starting to bud out there. And you can see the hostas are starting to come up. They're everywhere in here. So this is going to be really pretty. This hosta here, probably because it gets more sun, it's already coming up really, really big. But you can see our pollen just sitting on everything. So this will be nice and clean once we get all of our new mulch put in. It's going to look really pretty. Here's more of our southern gold right there. It's so thick. Okay, so this time last year in our March garden tour, we had in our tall guy arborvitaes, and they have grown so much since last year. We also had in our autumn joycetum, we had in our phlox, and we had in our hydrangeas, and that was it. So now it has grown so much in this last year. We did have a whole row of incredible hydrangeas here, and as you can see, there's only one left. So last year when we had the hurricane and we were sitting underneath floods and floods of water, those all died of root rot. So that is a really sad thing that happened here in our cottage garden. We did replace the lace cap hydrangea that was here, and we put in another little lime punch. Yes, little lime punch. And then I've slowly been moving lamb's ear around so we can have more lamb's ear in the garden. But one of the things I just love is this autumn joycetum. It is just amazing to me how it just comes up every year, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Just a no fuss kind of plant. I love it. And then we've got more of our lamb's ear. We've got some hosta coming up there. And then we've got our phlox coming up. It is doing really, really well. We've got a gara coming up there, a peony coming up here. Kind of hard to see because they're still all really small, but it kind of gives you an idea of what they look like in the early parts of spring. You can kind of see, you're like, oh, I forgot that was there, and it'll just start popping up out of the ground. Here's another one of our little lime punches, and little lime punch is the hydrangea of the year for proven winners, and I love little lime punch. So here's one of our incredibles that survived the storm. She is just hanging on in there. Oh, she's so beautiful. I just love her. And then I just love this little cluster of the lamb's ear through here. So pretty. And our David Austin roses, guys, you remember we chopped these things back, and they are coming back so beautiful now. I just absolutely love them. The Lady of the Shallot, that's the apricot one. Lady of Shallot, she came back first, like just flushed out really, really fast. And then the Claire Austin, the climbing rose, same thing. She was a little bit behind, but then she came out. And then over here, we have the Alnwick rose. Absolutely gorgeous, but this one is a little bit slower on coming out. And then another exciting thing is, we weren't sure if it would come back or not, but our vermillionaire has came back. Look at that, guys. So this is the one that the hummingbirds absolutely love. So I can't wait to see those come back this year. Okay, so here is a little rose that I got on clearance. So I just popped it over here beside the fence. And this lamb's ear, last year, we just planted this and it was just in a little pot and it has grown that much. This one I have not taken any clippings off of. The other ones I have, but it is doing great. We've got some little gladiolus kind of popping up here. We've got some snapdragons from last year popping up here. This looks like a hot mess that needs some work. So we ended up moving our apricot drift rose that was right here. We moved it over here because it got so big it was pushing in to our tall guy arborvitae, and we just did not want that to happen. So we got to get all of this cleaned up, but it is doing really, really well. So here is its new little home. It should have plenty of space from the fence and from the side here to be able to spread out. And it's got a lot of new growth on it, so it's doing great. Here's our beautiful bearded iris. They were so beautiful last year. They bloomed all year round. So gorgeous. Little eucalyptus there in the back. And then we've got some of our ornamental oregano. And then we got another Gara there. And then me and Savannah noticed the other day, we had our blackberries sitting here last year. We have blackberries popping up through here. So, a lot of them. So we were talking about we need to get those dug up and put somewhere else because we do not want it to take over this flower bed. But look here, guys. These irises have been the best irises. Look at them. They already are getting their blooms. And let me show you what they are. Called a German bearded iris. And this one is called Precious Little Pink. Look how pretty. It has like this blush color on it. See if I can get this back in here. It has a blush color. It's so, so pretty. So that is what everything is looking like. Our grass is starting to green up, as well as our onions. We need to get on top of that because we do have a lot of onions in here. Besides moving plants around, one of the biggest things we did this winter is we put in our edge right metal edging, and it is looking so good. It's going to make keeping this area lots more neat and tidy, keeping the grass and the flower bed in check. So I'm really, really excited about that. Now our little lime punches, they are coming out so beautiful through here. I've been slowly transplanting some more of the lamb's ear from our original ones. Our Walker's Low catmint is doing well. And this is our catmint that we moved in from the back, from the front to the back. So this is our cat's pajamas nepeta. So this was in the front last year and it was just getting a little bit too wet. So I brought it back here, separated it, and I think it's doing good so far, but we have had kind of a dry winter. So we'll see what happens, how it's going to do. Our sedum is gorgeous. I just love the way it looks like, I don't know, like broccoli or cabbage or something. Then we have our little daisies here. Cannot wait to see the color on those. These are the banana cream. And here's the little tag here. Beautiful white with a yellow center. It's going to look so good against that purple and that blue color from the lamb's ear. Beautiful combination there. And then we have our pink muley grass. It's starting to grow back. Little lime punch. And my daughter's friend Kaylee was so sweet and sent her a bouquet of tulips. What a beautiful gift idea. So we have these chilling in the refrigerator and we planted these and they are just so beautiful, so much fun. What a great gift to give somebody, the gift of flowers, and they just keep on giving. So then we have the same thing kind of going through here. So we have the catmint, we have the little lime punch, we have the daisies, and we just kind of have that same little combination going on through here. So I know it doesn't look like much right now. It just kind of looks like blob, 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 blob. But once everything gets big, it's going to look really pretty. I've transplanted some lamb's ear through here, but I have not been keeping it watered very good. So I am not sure about that. I think that is my fault. So this is what it looks like in March on this side. So it's going to be neat to see what it's going to look like in April. It's going to be a lot of growth. It's going to be a lot different. And then stay tuned because there's going to be some stuff going on through here that y'all are going to want to stay tuned for. So let's look over here at our Blushing Bride hydrangeas. So these are our Blushing Bride hydrangeas that were in the front. And so we moved them here to the back. Savannah did an excellent job. And then Hardy, Savannah, and Joy removed all of these rocks from this area. And we have slowly are starting to get this filled in. We put in our compost. We got a little bit of mulch put down in this area. But we did notice we've got another wash, kind of like we have on the other side, because everything drains off from this pool deck. So we need to work on the drainage situation in this area. But they are doing so good. They're all coming back. Look at there. They are going to be so gorgeous this year. Cannot wait. I hope they like it better over here on the south side of, on the north side of our house instead of the south. So I cannot wait to see these beautiful pink hydrangeas. And then over here is where we moved the lace cap hydrangea to. So we put it more here in the shade. And I think it's going to like it a little bit better over here because it was kind of getting beat by that afternoon west sun, so it should do a lot better. Then we just moved over here. This is the same blackberry. My daughter has had this from 2020, and she just keeps moving around from house to house. And it does so good. It has the best blackberries. It's thornless. And I just kind of have it training up here beside the fence. So it likes its life over here. It's doing really, really well. And then over here, we still need to add in some more compost that we've got to go get. But this actually was a little baby off the original drift rose. It was growing at the base, so I dug it up and put it over here. It's doing really well. And then I picked up another drift rose that was on clearance at Lowe's for 50% off. So a couple dollars, wasn't very much at all. And I got that one sitting over here. So we'll have one drift rose here. And then we'll have one of the drift roses on that side, so they'll kind of match each other. Then we have our little pots over here. This little blueberry, it was one that the girls picked up. It's not ever really done very well. So you can see it doesn't even hardly have that many blooms on it. So I'm not really sure about this one, if this is something we're gonna keep occupying this space. This is my little bed here with the strawberries, and then we have some of the fall gold raspberries in here. So I'm probably going to need to move these out of here and put them in a more permanent location. And this one here, this is our blueberry. This is one by, I think it was a Monrovia one, but this one was full of flowers on it, and it flowered really early, and it has done really beautiful. And I love the color on it with like the pink and the blue and the green. I think it's so, so pretty. So we'll probably definitely keep this one. Usually we have to do blueberries in pots because we're not acidic enough for them. So I do use the soil acidifier on this blueberry. Let's head over here to our little kitchen garden. So this is still a work in progress, as you can tell. But I wanted to show you guys our little early garden here. So we planted some lettuce, and we planted some onions, and we planted this little purple cabbage here. And then we also used the carrot tape. So this is the carrot seeds that come on a little tape, and they are coming up so beautiful. We have a whole little line of them coming up here. We weren't sure if they would come up or not because the seeds were from either 2022 or 2023, but they did. They came up, and they're looking so beautiful. I definitely need to come in here and give this a little bit of water. So we've been really, really windy and dry. So it's definitely showing a little signs of water stress there, but it is coming together so good. I'm actually just waiting on getting 3 more beds because I'm waiting on this white color. It had been out of stock. So that's why this is kind of just like a little holding space right now. But this is going to have a lot more transformation this year. So I cannot wait to share that with you guys. So this is going to be so pretty through here. And then we'll be retooling all of this right through here on the bunny barn. It's going to be super, super cute. Okay, so we've been adding on to this little pine straw island here. And I wanted to give you an update on the El Nino chautapas back here. So this one here had a little cage on it because I think the deer were trying to nibble at it a little bit. But this one It doesn't look like it has much action going on yet with it. And then we have 3 more over here. This one here is starting to get leaves on it. So that one's really pretty. And then we have one here getting some leaves on it. And this one here is getting some leaves on it. That part might have died off right there. But that's really exciting. So it's kind of an experiment to see how well these do. And then over here, we planted our fig in the ground, and it's getting a lot of beautiful leaves. So pretty. And then as we go around our tree, this is our tree that has the ginormous pine cones. Look at this. They're so big. These would be great for crafts. We also planted the rest of our fig trees over here. But before we get to the fig trees, this is our Spring Grove Western Arborvitae, and it did really well through the winter. This is the one that has a really good fragrance. How pretty that is. So it's growing and getting bigger. And the winds are picking up. Then we have a fig here. And then we have one here. They just look like sticks. And they have one here. This is the one I got from Phil's Figs. So they're not doing very much right now. Hopefully they're okay. Keeping our fingers crossed. But we have those kind of in a little trio right here. So we're going to be working on developing this part of the property as well. So just like we were doing in that front area, you can see we're kind of starting with our pine straw and working it around this tree. And then we're going to go around here in front of these figs. And then we're going to be going all the way back over to this holly. And then we're just going to be working on developing this. We have a no burn in North Carolina right now. So that's all of our stuff that needs to be burned. But we can't burn now. We have to wait till that ban is lifted. And I totally understand. So over here is our little orchard area. And you can see our apple trees have a little bit of leaves on them. And I did treat these already. So they're doing really well. Our apple is actually doing better right now, knock on wood, than our peach. Here's another one of our apple trees. And you can see it has a little bit of blossoms on it. So pretty. This is the Golden Delicious. And then over here, we have our peach tree. And it had a couple of little buds on it. A little bit here. But this tree, the deer just will not leave it alone. So it's on the struggle bus. And this one right here got some blossoms on it as well. But they're just struggling, guys. I think this whole top part looks dead. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. They may not be staying here in the garden. And then over here we have some of our vines. We have a muscadine here. And it's starting to get some leaves. And then over there we have one there. We have a grape there. And we have a muscadine over here that's starting to get some leaves. So we need to work on this area and create some little trellis system for these grapes to grow on. So that's definitely something we can think about this year. And as you can tell, looks like I stopped with the fertilizer. You can definitely see where I need to come in and fertilize some more. But it is looking a lot better, and everything is starting to wake up from the winter time. Okay, guys, so the sun is going down on our March 2025 garden tour. Thank you so much for gardening with me the last year. I have learned so much from you guys, and y'all have been such a wonderful inspiration. If you have any more ideas for me for my garden, make sure to put them in the comments down below and we can talk about it. And also join me over on Instagram and TikTok at Simple Southern Garden, and we can also share with each other in the comments and be able to DM each other so we can talk a little bit more because I love talking and learning from my flower friends. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I can't wait for you to join me on our next garden tour because everything is going to be a lot bigger and a lot different. So stay tuned for all of those changes. I hope you have a great day. Bye, friends.